minutes to boil. And to tell if they're ready, just skewer them with a sharp knife, just like a potato. Take them out of the pot, give them a bit of a drain, and then place each one on a serving plate. Now, this is the fun part. Gently open the artichoke, and it'll form this lovely flower pattern on the plate. Then I make a vinaigrette dressing. In a small jar, I place 1 tablespoon of very finely chopped shallots, 1/4 cup of extra virgin olive oil, 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, 1 tablespoon of white wine vinegar, a teaspoon of Dijon or seed mustard, and some salt and pepper. Give it all a good shake so that it's nicely combined. The dressing with the shallot and the vinegar and the mustard counterbalance with that lovely, nutty, tender sweetness of the artichoke. It's just a match made in heaven.
For our main course, we're having chicken and leek gratin, and for the crispy topping, I'm making a Provençal crust with some leftover bread.
So I'm just cutting the crusts off some leftover bread, and I want about 2 cups of breadcrumbs, but I don't worry about that at the moment. I just get the leftover bread, whatever I've got, cut it into rough chunks, and then I put it in the food processor and make crumbs out of it. Now, you don't want these to be too fine. You want some texture in there, so just pulse them. Perfect.
I'm using 2 cups of breadcrumbs, and then I add a teaspoon of roughly chopped rosemary, a couple of handfuls of chopped parsley, and 4 cloves of garlic.
Essentially what I'm doing is just making a nice savoury crumb here, but you could use less garlic, you could put more garlic, you could put chilli, you could make it with pesto. It's just a really versatile method to have up your sleeve. Now, I happen to like anchovies, so I'm going to put about 3 of those in, but again, you could leave them out if you didn't like them.
Finally, I add the zest of 1 lemon and 4 tablespoons of butter.
Now give that a good whiz to blend it finely. Now in go my breadcrumbs and some Parmesan cheese. So I'm going to use about 1/2 cup and just blitz it together. Looks perfect. It's a nice, evenly mixed crumb, and it has quite a wet texture with that butter and the cheese in there. It's exactly what I want because it means it's going to go really crunchy when I put it on top of the chicken. And just like that, it's ready to use. You've got these lovely Mediterranean flavours happening with the garlic, the lemon rind and the herbs. It's just such a terrific combination.
This Provençal crust is so versatile. Add some pine nuts and sprinkle it generously over blanched silver beet, then bake until golden and crispy. Or bake it on top of cauliflower cheese. It's a great way to give this old family favourite a whole new lease on life. Today I'm using my Provençal crust in a chicken and leek gratin.
I've got 4 big leeks here, and I've just cleaned them, and now I'm slicing them thinly, and I'm going to cook them off in a bit of butter in the pan. Leeks come from the same family as onions, but they're much milder, and they become really sweet when you cook them. They're just the most delicious vegetable. Got about 3 tablespoons of butter here. Probably going to fill the whole pan with this. Dishes like this that you can cook on the stovetop and then put in the oven are so useful. If you haven't got one of these, just cook the leeks in a big fry pan and then transfer the mixture to a casserole dish. What looks like a mountain of leeks here is going to reduce down by about 2/3, so I'll end up with a nice layer in the bottom of my dish that I can cook the chicken on top of. Just give those leeks a good season, and then while they're softening, I'm going to get the chicken ready. I like using boneless chicken thighs. They have so much more flavour than a breast, and they're much more tender. And I tend to allow about 2 thighs per person. Now into there, I'm going to put 2 tablespoons of Worcester sauce, 2 teaspoons of Dijon mustard, and a good pinch of cayenne. It's probably about half a teaspoon. A little bit of salt and pepper, and a teaspoon of fresh thyme leaves. If you haven't got fresh thyme, use half a teaspoon of dried, it's stronger. This is a sort of a Diablo marinade. It probably comes from about the 60s. That combination of Worcester sauce, mustard, cayenne and thyme. And it just goes really well with chicken. I'll just mix that all together just to coat the chicken pieces. Let's look at our leeks. You can tell the leeks are ready. They lose that verdant green colour, and I can't see the slices anymore. It's just all one softened mixture. So now I'm going to add a little bit of cream. So I've got half a cup of cream here. Just mix that around so it coats the leeks evenly.
Now let's put this together. I layer the chicken on top of the leeks and then sprinkle over the Provençal crust.
So I'm using the whole recipe here, and it just goes all over the top and covers up the chicken entirely. And that does two things. It protects the chicken from drying out as it cooks, but it also means that all those lovely flavours in the crust are going to seep down through the chicken into the leeks. It's just such a good dish.
That goes into the oven at 180 degrees Celsius for about an hour.
The combination of those creamy leeks, the tangy chicken, and then that crunchy crust, it's hard to beat. I've got such a good crop of snow peas this year.